Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to, or welcome to Just Adulting. First video here. My name is D. My wife's name is J. We have a couple of kids. We own a house. On this channel, we're going to be doing an assortment of things. I'm a graphic designer. I make videos, or attempting to make videos, I should say. I do photography a little bit. I do t-shirts, hats, design car wraps. I make stickers. I like making stickers. I do patches. I do embroidery work, sublimation, um, decals, which is what I'm going to be making today for my truck. I own another company called the Panic Room Prints, which is pretty much my clothing brand. I do a lot of like death bears and things of that nature on there. Just Adulting's more of our family company where we started a YouTube channel. I started streaming gaming a couple hours a day. And on this channel, we're just going to be bringing you a bunch of tutorials, how-tos, day in the lives, reactions, political if that's what comes up. You know, I'm a very, very political person, but don't need to talk politics. I'm perfectly capable of living in a world where I'm okay with people who disagree. The more I make these videos and my wife makes these videos, the better we're gonna get at it. So, I don't know how many people will see this one, but I'll know it's here. So we're gonna get started. Today, I'm going to be creating a decal for my truck using the Cameo 4, which is a basic cutter. You can get a commercial grade cutter, which we have, but on this channel, we're going to be doing the basics. Dads who crafts along with moms who crafts, dads that cook, dads that are dads, just adulting. So I'll be using Silhouette Studio, the Cameo 4. I will be using some Hexus white gloss vinyl for the decal. I'm editing this video and creating this video using the ProArt 16 32 gig RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive, 4060 graphics card, true color correction laptop, 2024 version. And what I'm using to film myself on is the ZV-E10 and the 16 to 50 millimeter lens that comes with it, as well as I have a Sony a7 III that you can't see, that's right here to the right of me, to the left of your screen. I have 2 studio lights that I got from Best Buy that cost about 89 bucks, nothing too fancy, and a couple of tools in order to weed the decal and prep the decal for application. So let's get started. You can easily do this using Cricut as well. I just prefer Cameo. Silhouette design, definitely a lot better. And it's okay if you are using Silhouette and you don't have all the options right here to the right of your screen. I have the business edition, so you can make this decal. If you don't have the fonts, that's because I have Adobe, so I have a plethora of fonts. So if you don't have the same stuff I'm using, it's okay. You have the basic tools to follow along. Like I said, this is not a tutorial. I'm just creating a decal for my truck. I figured this could be a good first video for the channel and something just that I do regularly that I can just easily make and pop up here. So like I said, this is not an in-depth, this is not a how-to, this is not a tutorial. I will be saying things that I'm doing along the way, but mostly it will be me just creating and talking to you as I'm creating it along the way. And then eventually I will make the in-depth tutorial once I, get the hang of filming, recording myself, taking the imagery, putting it inside the editing software, editing the video and posting it. And then the better I get at that, the more I can get tutorials prepared, get the script ready, and be able to execute it to a state that people can actually learn. That way I don't have to make the same tutorial 100 times. So my company's name is Just Adulting, and what I will be doing is just creating one decal that just says Adulting in some sort of font, and then I'll be making another decal that's the logo. The one that is just a regular script font is for my side back windows, and the actual logo is for my rear view, my rear glass to go next to my panic room logo for my other company. So I'm just going to first start with some text. Just adulting. When I first get my script up, I like to first fill it in with black so that makes everything more legible. And the next thing I like to do is take off the outline, because when you do a cut file, the outline, I like to use the cut line as red. So if I were to leave this outline, it can mess up things in the future. So when I'm first designing, I do no outline color at all. Next, I'm going to change the font to something a little bit better that I would like. Let's change this view. All right. So if you want to know how I was able to make these bigger and smaller, you just come to starter mode here, on or off, on and off. I prefer off. All right. And then I'm going to start at the top. So if you highlight your text and you come in here and you click on a font, you can just use the arrow on your keyboard to go through them. So that way you're not just clicking and clicking on the mouse. And makes this a whole lot easier. And when you guys are out there creating stuff, just try to have fun. Like, don't think too much of it. Like, if you're just starting, the more repetitions, the more things you make, the better you're gonna become at doing it. The more secondhand it becomes. And sorry if I'm looking down. My webcam's above. My laptop's down here below me. I'm not on my main PC due to the fact that I have my cutter right here next to me and everything on this table in front of me. You'll see a little bit later on in the video and you see the other angle from the other camera. So on the other rig behind me, everything's set up a little bit better, where as I'm doing work on the monitor is directly in front of me, so I'm looking directly at you. My laptop is fairly low, so sorry if I'm looking down. So as I will go through all these fonts, I passed a couple that I liked. That's just basic old adult font. Nothing too spectacular that I'm looking for. Yep, and for this channel, I created an entire new Silhouette Studio, downloaded Business Edition all over again, just so I can start completely from scratch for the videos that I'll be making, so I'm not sharing any of my customer designs or previous customer designs or any designs that I haven't released to anybody. So when I go in my library, there's not going to be a lot of designs here, and that's due to the fact that I made it that way, so that way when I'm sharing my screen, it's a fresh page that the stuff that's in here is the stuff that I'm sharing online and not anybody's personal designs or anything I'm working on, that such. So I'm going to go ahead and wait on the font, and I'm going to go ahead and get the logo. And this was just a quick, simple logo I created with text on my iPad so that we had a logo that we can start using right away. And I wanted to bring this up, so I'm going to take the outline off of it, so that way I can see. Maybe I have enough room to make one for my wife as well. I do. And this is a 12 by 12 inch area. So it may look small on the screen, but this is a 12 by 12. So 1 foot by 1 foot area of space. So just so you have a reference of size. And so looking at the just adulting here across the bottom, I want something that's not the same font, but something that is close to it, like that. Can I make it bold? I can. And just like that, here is the two decals. Just adulting for the side windows. Well, I'm only going to put it on one side window, make a duplicate. Might as well save space on the paper. You know, make sure that when you're using vinyl, vinyl isn't cheap, and especially with the prices of things nowadays, make sure that you're using up your vinyl. Try to get as many things on one square. You know, I cut mine out with an X-Acto cutter, so my when I cut my sheets, they're always going to be 12 by 12 when I'm using a Cameo. When I'm using the bigger cutter, I do 24 inches, so I do 20. I just leave it on the roll. But when I'm using a Cameo for videos like this, so I'm not going inside the garage, little 12 by 12, I'm gonna use this up because if I were to just cut the bottom or just cut one of these logos right here or just this one out, I'm gonna waste a lot of the paper up here. So just so you understand what I'm doing here. Alrighty. And so that's ready to go. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna highlight everything. I'm going to group it. I'm gonna turn my Cameo on. You may hear it turn on. So just like that, the designing process is done. Side windows, back window, not a big logo here. They're not very big. Just to put on a slap on the window in a corner. Quick and easy. Go ahead and go to send. And then on this page, it's going to be prepping the machine. So boom, firmware is good. I like to work out of the line. Oh yeah, I didn't turn the line back on. Go back to design. I didn't turn the line back on, so let's make the line outline of this all red again. So I'm going to show you something. So see if I go into send, which makes it ready to cut. See how this is red? This is what I was meaning by that outline. Sometimes it messes you up, so I like to work without it. Because if I go back and change my outline to green and go to send, see it's going to be green. However, if I were to go in here and ungroup this, and I were to only choose the bottom two, and I would turn those outlines back to red, and I were to go to send, notice now we have a blue, a green cut line and a red cut line, which means that if I were to stick my one sheet of white through the cutter, I would have to send it twice to do both of these cuts, the green cut and then the red cut. They'd be two separate cuts. So we don't like to do that. That's why I just work without any outline until I'm done. Group everything, one cut color, bada bing, bada boom. All right, so I'll work out a line and I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna choose my paper type that I'm using. So I'm using vinyl glossy, cut, auto blade detected. The force I'm going to use on here is not going to be very much. Let's go 12 on 2, so 13.2. Speed, go ahead and slow that down to 3. You don't need to go fast for no reason. And all right, so we're ready to cut out the decal. So I'll catch you guys when it comes times to apply the decal to a truck. So the next segment you're gonna see is me loading up the cutter, preparing the paper, showing you the materials that I'll be using for the actual. Actually, I can show you how right now. So vinyl. squeegee, pair of scissors if needed, weeding tool, cutting mat, roller tool, and some transfer tape. And the only other tool that I'm using is the actual silhouette itself, the Cameo 4. Alrighty, once we get done designing, the next step will be to prepare the cutting mat. Go ahead and move this back a bit. And as I said, this is for anyone that doesn't believe that with a craft machine at home, you can make professional grade quality products at home for you and your kids and not spend the premiums that they're charging out in the real world and possibly turn it into a business if you like. And now comes the fun part. So this part you're going to want to take your time on, I'll tell you that much. It's called weeding. Because as you can see right here at the bottom, pulled some of the letters off. No big deal. Just take them all out. Bada bing, bada boom. This one out of here. And boom. Next, we are going to cover them with the transfer tape. And what I like to do is I like to fold it in the middle and then roll it across the design. worry, guys. I will get better with this. Get better at this with time. Tutorial coming soon. Until then, just keep adulting. Alright, now we've made it outside to the truck. I got my decal. I got my window cleaner. I got rubbing alcohol. My squeegee. And a couple of towels. I'm gonna go ahead and start by cleaning my window. You want to clean your window nice and good. You don't want none of the debris underneath it. And you want to make sure you use fresh, clean towels. I prefer microfiber, shop towels, but anything you gotta work. I use a separate towel for rubbing alcohol. And I might seem all scrunched over because it's pretty windy and cold where I live. So I'm doing this in my garage. Alright. So you want to go ahead, and I like to get eye level with whatever I'm doing to make sure that it's level. And yeah, it might seem like it's easy for me. I've just been doing it a long time. That's it. Go ahead and get in here. So, to go along with the Panic Room logo there. Alright, sorry, camera battery died. And now the peel. You want to get up close? So I always say you want to peel nice and slow. Because especially after somebody sends you a decal in the mail or you send it to somebody, you always want to instruct them to peel slow. Because you don't know the temperature where they're going to be putting it on their vehicle at. And sometimes, depending on the temperature, the letters don't like to stick. So, make sure that you check all your manufacturer settings, application settings, so that way you can inform customers if you're selling it to them, or you know for yourself so you're not wasting material. And just like that, you have a decal. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, just keep adulting.